Today, I'm joined by someone who is gloriously unapologetic about who she is. Michelena Rose is an adult content creator, a licensed massage and scratch therapist, and the woman behind Get Naked and Glow in Myrtle Beach. On camera, she's playful, explicit, and endlessly creative with her sexual performances. Off camera, she's a mom, a daughter, a partner, and a business owner, navigating a school run, dinner at 6, and a very ordinary looking suburban life. So I wanted to really try and meet almost maybe both versions of Michelena. The creator who has zero limits when it comes to erotic expression, and the woman who gets up at 5 a.m. for the gym, builds a life for her kids, and keeps parts for herself just for the people she loves. We will talk, hopefully, frankly, about sex, kink, and fantasy, but we'll explore what that means in terms of intimacy, feelings, and perhaps is there a cost to living that life so publicly? Gosh, there's a lot to explore. I've already enjoyed our conversation so far. I do remember to press record, which is good. So thank you so much for joining us from the warmth of Florida.
Thank you.
You've built a public identity that's bold, sensual, and unapologetic. If you strip away the camera, the brand, and maybe expectations, who is Michelena underneath all of that?
It's so funny when people ask me that question because they always assume there's two different people, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but that is the glory of me and what I've always done, is that they've always been one and the same person. It's never been here's this person with this lane, here's this person with this lane. Um, what you see on camera is exactly what you get off camera. The only thing that you might not see on camera are the times when I'm struggling or when I'm upset or when I'm sad. Those are the things that I don't really share. Um, but who I am at my core is just exactly who you see on camera. I'm funny, I'm clever, I'm positive, I'm upbeat. I'm just somebody who authentically and fully enjoys life, like to the fullest. So, and that means just doing whatever I want every single day that makes myself happy and makes my soul happy. And so that's really who it is. Like I said, what you see on camera is exactly who you're going to get off camera.
I love that. Yeah, I sort of hope that the version of you off camera wasn't this very dour and sad and depressed
Yeah.
person. It's really hard to sort of switch it on, switch it off, switch it on, switch it off. You just feel much better if if that is you and you're not having to perform as such. But do you find a challenge with I guess you have the performance side of things. I think a lot of people don't think about the business side of things. So this stuff doesn't film itself, it doesn't publish itself, it doesn't get
Right.
promoted itself. How do you find the sort of performer slash businesswoman?
So that's a little bit different too, right? Earlier, people weren't listening because we weren't recording, but we talked about the industry. Okay,
Yeah.
so there's a huge gap in what I do versus what other people do.
Mhm.
And what I do is I record my sex life with my partners and I post it. There's no
Mhm.
extra cameras, there's no producers, there's no nothing. I'm literally just like letting everybody, every fan in the middle of my sex life, I'm letting them just join me on my sex journey, on my sex life with my partners, and them just have a piece of it. And so it's authentic. It's not something I'm performing. It's something that I'm doing every single day because this is what I do. And I'm just recording it and letting everybody pay to watch it. So it is very different that way, where it's like there's no disconnect, there's no disconnect as far as how I'm living my life and how I'm turned it into a business. It's
Mm.
kind of all one and the same.
So with the profile you have, which is a very powerful profile, it's very strong looks, very strong image.
Thank you.
You've been incredibly successful. You must have had a lot of approaches from some of the more mainstream studios. Were you ever tempted to go down the sort of mainstream route?
No, not one time. There's a whole bunch of freedom that comes along with when you're making your own content and when you're blowing up on your own and you're doing your own thing. There's so much freedom. And I get to choose every day whose dick goes inside me. I get to choose that. And then when you give that control to somebody else, to a mainstream company, to somebody bigger in the industry, then I'm no longer in control of the content that I make, of the partners that I choose, of the times that I get to work. I'm no longer in charge of that. And then I'm no longer in charge of my own destiny, if somebody else is. So for me, that's never an option.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big things that's changed over. And we talked before about pornography when I was growing up was a photograph in Playboy. I was like, my God, that was the height of excitement. It was passed around a playground for 2 days. Whereas now it's kind of different, really. But I think one of the big changes, apart from online porn, has been the growth in sites like OnlyFans, Fansly, places like that, where it does feel that the artists, the performers, the actresses in particular, have more control over, exactly as you said, what goes inside them, when, what they publish, what they film, etc. Did that feel like a big change when that came about? The whole OnlyFans side of things was becoming more dominant.
Did it feel like it was a change as far as how?
In terms of, I guess, in terms of exactly as you were saying, that you can decide what you film, what you publish. Hopefully, the financial rewards are better if it's your site, your content. You control it. You can set the prices. You can talk to people, not talk to people. You have a lot more control, I guess.
So so here's where I really enjoy that because I think a lot of people, and especially women, but society in general, like they really miss um why this kind of content and doing the OnlyFans thing I think is better because not only do you have the control over your own content, right? But you have control over your own content, you control your schedule, you control who you're doing content with, but you're also able to control how you make your fans feel and how you can
Mm.
connect with them on such a deeper personal level that most people in the mainstream industry don't do.
Yeah.
So there's a connection there and it's a slippery slope with that connection. I cannot deny it's a very slippery slope, right? Um, because it's so much easier for people when you're a husband or a boyfriend to just look at porn, disconnect from it, let it go. But it can be much more slippery slope if you're married or in a relationship and now you're able to bond with this person you're on OnlyFans talking to, and it can become very slippery for a relationship. However,
Mm.
as a creator, that's what sets you apart. That's what makes you a much better creator. That's what makes you um, more involved with your fans and somebody who can do really well because you're offering connection. And who in the fuck today does not lack connection with people?
That's one of my big bugbears about society. We have these amazing devices, these amazing smartphones that we carry with us everywhere, that we can film with, that we can literally find out anything from anywhere in the world. And you would hope it would make us so we can connect with anybody, but it does feel like it's made us feel more disconnected than ever before. That's
So true.
yeah, I think especially for, I mean, we both have teenage children. I think that's one of the big challenges is trying to get them to lift their head up. Don't live life through your device. I mean, you see on TV, you watch a Taylor Swift concert, people are watching it through their phone. They're not actually there in the moment. They're not experiencing it. They're
That's
actually,
true.
yeah, they're just watching it through this little screen, which,
Hmm.
yeah, it feels so weird.
It's so different, right? Like it's such a different feeling through a phone versus actually being next to that energy because that energy is so transferable, but it's not transferable through the phone.
Yeah.
It's not the same feeling. It's not the same aliveness that you get from truly being immersed into something or into an event or to, you know, a person. It's very different.
Yeah. I mean, I think we all remember our first kiss. I mean, we wouldn't remember well, the video of our first kiss or the photograph. That feeling that we had. That
Yes.
it's something very, very, very different. And I think that's what's perhaps been a challenge today is that a lot of our feelings are being numbed, and perhaps we're not
Yes.
having those experiences that perhaps we did once have. There's some of them. Some experiences are scary, but if you have a scary experience, something that you've got to really put yourself out there to do to try, that's where energy and life and light and intimacy come from. I always think.
Yes, I totally agree. And that's where you as a person are completely flourish as a person, you know?
Mm.
I've always said, like, if there's ever one feeling that ever anybody ever meets me and describes and can use for one word to describe me, they will always say that meeting me makes them feel alive. And so, because I think so many people are so numb, like you just said, they're scrolling, they're doing all of these
Yeah.
things, they're, you know, living life through the phone. They're not um in the moment. They're just not in the moment. And so I do feel like that is probably the most important feeling that anybody could feel any day is alive. And I think
Mm.
social media completely messes with that connection, which is then again where the OnlyFans comes in, where if I can talk to somebody and meet somebody in person and make them feel alive, like what an amazing feeling.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of time, a lot of our sort of film stars that we see on screen, we watch them and we can feel we know them. But whereas with something like OnlyFans, you can literally talk to somebody,
Yeah.
say what you like, and you can have you can order bespoke content, etc., etc. So it does feel that, well, you're getting the feedback of what your fans like. The fans are feeling that they are in communication with you and you're listening to them, and it just creates a very different relationship than something I think it's a much more of a one-way thing.
Huge. And that's what I always tell everybody. Like the women don't understand you know, the women of like, partners or spouses or wives or girlfriends, they don't understand that like your man's not really just subscribing to me um because I give the best blowjobs or because I do this better. Like your man is subscribing to me daily and getting on daily because when he gets on, I'm like, how are you? How was your day? Tell me about your day. And when they walk through the door of their home, they're not getting that.
We're taking the bins out. You forgot to pick up this, or you didn't.
Yes, you're
Absolutely,
late, blah, blah, blah.
yeah,
What's going on? Why didn't you answer my calls earlier? Like, there's so much, right? And I think that there's that just huge gap where just women aren't realizing that, like, if you were to just show your man some love, show your man some appreciation when he walks through that door. It's hard, don't be wrong, especially if the relationship's not going well. But I can assure you he's not going to find a reason to want to subscribe to me if you're able to meet all of those needs that he's
yeah,
looking for. And I'm going to just be completely fucking honest. Men are so simple. Men are so
yeah.
simple.
Explain.
Okay, so you feed them, you fuck them, you appreciate them. That's all they want.
That sounds pretty good.
That is really all they want. And it's no different where like if you feed them and you fuck them and you appreciate them, if your man feels that, if he feels that you truly are giving that to him, he's more prone to give you everything that you want, which equals happy wife equals happy life, you know?
Yeah. Did you always have a positive relationship with your body, with pleasure, with other people? Were your formative years, were they very positive experiences? Did they help to teach you about sensuality?
I've always loved my body. I've always been so
Oh, so good.
comfortable in my skin. I've
Hmm.
always been somebody who's been very sexual slash sensual, more sensual, I guess you would say. Um,
Yeah.
and I really have to commend my family for that, right? Because I grew up around a bunch of Italians. I grew up around a bunch of bikers on one side. And so there was a lot of like free spirit,
Hmm.
wild child on this side, but then also the Italian, Catholic, um, more conservative on the other side. But both have given me a foundation to completely be myself, not be shamed, not feel shamed, not chastised, not criticized. I could wear the clothes that I wanted, and my parents and my family were completely okay with it. They might make a snide little comment or two, but nothing where I felt like I had to change who I was because they didn't approve.
Mm.
My family always accepted me, always approved of me, always loved me unconditionally. And I think when you grow up like that, that gives you the freedom to love yourself and to completely be whoever the fuck you want to be.
How do you find that? And this is quite a general question, so forgive me. But how do you find that other women react to you? I guess when they first meet you, first see you, and then perhaps once they know what you do for a career, how do they? Is it very varied how people respond to you?
It's so funny. A first initial look wise, it's it
Wow.
can be like not the best, right? Just initial look wise, or if they just know what I do, it's very much so like standoffish, very much so a little taken aback. Um a little just, you know how you would feel if you were being, if you were a woman around another woman who is
Yeah.
loud and obnoxious and bold and confident as me. It's a whole feeling. And then they talk to me. And then they realize this this woman is somebody that I want in my life for the rest of my life. Every female in my life, and there's many, know that they can leave their man in a room with me completely naked. I could sleep in a bed next to him and nothing would happen. Like they know that that's the trust that they have with me. That's the person that I am. That yes, I'm very sexual, I'm very wild, I'm very crazy and all the things, but they also know who I am at my core. And so these women trust me. They love me. They you look up to me and it's fucking amazing actually. It really it's I enjoy it.
That's good to hear. It's good that and it comes across very clearly just talking to you now, your energy is a very, very positive energy. And I think people need more positive energy in their life, really. And like I say, once you get past maybe looking at you, I think, oh my goodness, because you're sort of, I don't know, it's like half sort of Amazonian, half Marvel superhero, half sort of an amazing porn star. Half, that's three halves. Okay, there's a lot of
I love
a third. You know
that.
what I mean? It's once you get past that and actually talk to you, and also found out that a lot of things we all deal with in life, looking after teenage kids, putting food on the table, all those things. Hey, no shit, you're doing it as well.
Yeah, I'm
It's not.
doing it too. I'm just
It,
as human as you.
yeah.
Yeah.
When people sort of encounter your work and watch what you do and watch how you perform, what do you want people to feel when they encounter the work? Because I guess it's sort of a lot of things you do sort of sit with you for a while. They're not sort of always the most sort of traditional kind of acts
Yes.
using the most traditional of implements. So, what do you want people to think, feel, experience when they encounter you?
I want people to always feel like that's first and foremost. I want them to always feel.
Hmm.
Um, I also am huge on the shock and awe factor. Like, I'm not
Hmm.
even gonna lie to you. Like, there's some times where I want people to be like, what the fuck is she doing? And how is she doing that, you know? Um, because there's a reason behind that, right? When you're able to do all this wild, crazy shit and you're able to put it on camera for other people to see and other people to have judgments, it gives me this space. It allows me to give this space of where people are able to, at that point, when they see my stuff, whether they like it or not, they are able to kind of say, wow, like that's wild, that's crazy, that's insane. Would I do that? How do I feel about that? Like it gives me the opportunity to get people talking and thinking
Hmm.
and being open-minded or realizing if they're closed-minded and then it's just something that kind of stays with people. Like there's people that will come up to me years after seeing some of my content and they were just like, "I cannot believe you did that." But the thing is that it's made them feel something by watching it. It made them feel something within themselves that they can at some point figure out like, am I comfortable doing that? Is that something that I would want to try? Um, it may create a little bit of intrigue with themselves. And I think that
Hmm.
to me is probably part of why I love doing what I do is because it gets people thinking about their own life and what they can do or what they can't do or what they might want to do or explore and that
Hmm.
they wouldn't do otherwise.
Hmm. For people that perhaps haven't seen some of Michelena's content yet, I know you're all going to rush off and look in a second. I'll just give you a few words. Uh,
I'm
knife,
so excited for this.
knife, scissors, guns, whisk, hatchet, cucumber. Yeah, I'm sure there's a longer list than that. But yeah, what sort of response do you do you, do you look for when somebody watches you? Yeah, putting a knife in your pussy, or masturbating with a handgun,
Yeah.
or using a whisk to open up your beautiful pussy. What? Well, first of all, wow, why, what, why, how do the ideas come from?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, what do people tend to, what are people's first reactions to those posts?
Like I said, there's a whole lot of shock and awe. Like, they are
Yeah.
truly like, "Oh my god, what is she thinking? What is she doing?" Um, it does go deeper than that though, right? While I'm trying to think of these things that are so great and shock and awe,
Hmm.
there is a part of me, a huge part of me, that loves putting these foreign objects inside of me because it's like, it's not the same feeling that you're gonna get from a dildo or some guy's dick going inside of you. It's a
No.
completely different feeling that you have to really stop and feel in the moment. Like, for one, this is dangerous. For one, this is super dangerous. It could be really bad. You know, it could go sideways at any moment. And number two, it just makes you really understand how these objects are more than just objects going inside of me. It's for it's no different than you getting you getting touched by fire with your finger. It's no different than you getting pricked
Mm.
by a rose. It's no different than somebody breaking your heart. These are all real feelings, but I'm feeling them with my vagina in in such a different way. And so I
Mm.
try to explain to people like, it might look wild and crazy on camera, but I'm the one doing it. And if I wish there could just be a way where I could describe the feeling that I'm feeling when I'm feeling a cactus in my vagina or a sword, and knowing that like if I drop this sword, I'm probably gonna cut my pussy. Like, there's a whole like it's an adrenaline rush. It is a total adrenaline rush to feel all these different sensations in your pussy because that's not typically one body part where you feel a whole different kinds of sensations.
No, and there's a million nerve endings down there and down the
Yes.
clitoris and things like say it, and typically it might be a dildo, it could be glass, could be
Yes.
latex, could be rubber, whatever, and then a penis. That tends to be pretty much
Then a
universal.
penis.
Yeah. Does it turn you on when you're doing that?
Yes. Extremely. And one thing that I don't think a lot of people know, I will never practice something that I'm doing before I do it. Everything that I do is live in that moment so that when my fans look at it and watch it, they're watching it the same moment that I've tried it for the first time. So there's never any practicing. Whether it's fireworks, whether it's golf balls, whether it's the knife, the sword, the cactus, there's no practicing. It's like, well, here we go. You guys are here watching it. Let's see how it goes.
They need to create a sort of adult version of America's Got Talent.
That's a great idea.
Of your ex. That'd be fun. I'm sure a lot of people would pay a lot of money to see that.
That's brilliant.
Is there anything you wouldn't put in your pussy?
I wouldn't put animals in my vagina.
No, 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 no,
That is
no.
the only
I'm
thing that
sorry. Any inanimate object, I should have said.
um no, and I actually am still trying to figure out how to do fire. Like, that's the one thing that I really
Oh,
want
okay.
to try to figure out some way somehow is fire. I
Mm.
just don't know how to figure that out. I mean, I already put fucking Roman candles in there and lit fucking like 6 Roman candles on fire, so
That's Fourth
I
of July.
technically already put explosives in my vagina and just didn't realize the ramifications of what would happen if it didn't go well.
Yeah. Mm.
So, yeah, I love it. I enjoy it.
What does a typical day look like when you're not performing?
Basic as fuck, and you would probably never believe that this was my life. I wake up at 5, go to the gym.
Yeah.
I'll typically do like a sunrise or something depending.
Mhm.
I'll do massages during the day, or I'll just, answer fans, do that kind of thing. Um, I do love to go for walks. I do love to go on adventures. I love to lay by the pool. And then the kids come home. So the kids come home around anywhere from like 3 and 4 different times. And then when the kids get home, it's mom mode. Snacks, and then we get ready for soccer and we do soccer. And then on days when we're not doing soccer, dinner's on the table by 6 p.m. We do either movies or games, like board games or card games. And then dinner or bedtime by like 9 or 10. So it's very much so like the normal person, you know? And it's funny, sometimes the kids obviously just know me as mom. And then
Mhm.
when we go out in public and people are like, "Oh my God, like, can I get a picture with you?" Like, they don't know that side of me. Why would they? There's no reason for them to know that side of me.
It's not like, hey, what should we watch?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
let's
know?
watch this.
So sometimes it's
And
very just
that's,
like, this is weird. This is weird that these people want a picture with my mom.
I mean, that's one thing I wanted to ask you, because I mean, we all know that, not yours and not mine, obviously, but kids can be little shits, really.
Mhm.
And what are you thinking about the time where one of your son's friend says to him, "Hey, this is your mum, isn't it?" What how do you have that conversation in advance to sort of give them the ammunition to deal with that situation?
Yeah, it's already happened.
Okay.
And I did make it very clear, like when my kids, especially my oldest, I think when he was 10,
Hmm.
we had the conversation and I just sat him down and I said, "Listen, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to come across mommy because mommy's on the internet. And I need you to understand that kids are going to be mean, and they're going to be cruel, and they're going to say a lot of things, but there's one thing you need to understand. Nothing that they say is ever going to hurt mommy. And so as long as you understand that the things that they say are never going to hurt my feelings, no matter how bad it is, I need you to understand that you can't let it hurt your feelings." And, in the moment I'm saying that, but then in the moment when it happens, it's different. They don't
Yeah.
have the same I don't give a fucks that I do because I'm their mommy. They only know to love their mommy, protect their mommy, look up to their mommy, admire their mommy. So it's very different. It has created like a bond that I think is really unique to how I parent my children, you know,
Hmm.
because there's this openness of like, hey, just let you guys know this is going to happen. It's allowed them to deal with it in the best way that they know how to. But it's also taught them that, listen, I don't really give a fuck what you think. Like this is my mom. You can say whatever the fuck you want to say about my mom. Like it doesn't fucking matter. So it's a very unique, crazy balance to watch it all unfold, you know, and try to give the best answers that I can and try to give the best solutions that I can. So yeah, it has its moments. It has its challenges for sure. My youngest is 10.
Hmm.
He's the one that I'm worried about most
Okay.
because he loves me so much. I'm literally his world. Um, so I haven't quite had that conversation with him yet
Mm.
on how to do the whole don't give a fuck part.
Mhm.
So I do know that I'm gonna have to like really figure out a way to handle that one a little bit more, I think, sensitively versus, just so matter of fact.
I think the way you explain it then is incredibly commendable, and I think the biggest thing as a son, as a daughter, our primary desire is to make sure nobody hurts mummy or daddy, whatever the
Yeah.
situation is. And you explain to them that no matter what's said, no matter what happens, this isn't going to hurt me.
Right.
So don't let them have any satisfaction from seeing you be hurt by what it is. I did. Sorry, I shouldn't have smiled. I did think when you sort of said, you explained to your son, like, a lot of people are going to come across mummy. Okay. Okay, that's quite, yeah, that's quite
Figuratively
descriptive.
and literally.
That was very prophetic.
That was funny.
Hmm.
Very creative.
One of the things we sort of talked about maybe before we hit record was that I think a lot of people, hopefully a lot of people, enjoy intimacy, sex, etc. But I do think, to be serious for a second, one of the challenges that we have is we often don't talk about things. And it was interesting. I was listening to one of your other podcasts recently, and I think you half scared one of the guys when you offered to peg him. And then I think it was quite. Okay, right. I thought, thank goodness I don't live in Florida. And I think that, but I do think a lot of guys would like to ask their partners to do that,
Yeah.
or to do something, or to perhaps submit to their partners, because we've always had this big masculinity thing where men are the dominant person, whatever. Actually, a lot of guys, when you've been at work all day long and it's just shitty, in charge of lots of people, you want to come home and just be, yeah, let your partner dominate you for a while. How asking for somebody else. How do you ask for that? How do you say to your partner of 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, like, I've always wanted to try this, and I trust you, and I feel comfortable with you, and how without, because I guess the fear is that either they run away screaming, or they think you're a pervert, or you're weird, or you're disgusting, whatever. You don't want that.
No.
How do you have that conversation?
Oh, that one's always so hard because it's like you said, they're so fearful that somebody's just gonna run or judge them or blast it to their friends or whatever the case may be. And it's like, I think there's a two-part process to that, right?
Hmm.
The first part process is when a man asks for that from his wife or girlfriend or whatever, he has to really understand that when he asks this, that he needs to have zero shame in asking this. And he needs to understand when he asks that there's going to be some pushback, a whole lot of not understanding, a whole lot of confusion, um, and that she may talk to her friends about it, you know? So as long as the man can ask in a way where he's like, hey, I want to feel this, I want to enjoy this, I want to do this, and understand to ask without shame. That's the first part.
Hmm.
And then I think the other way that they can ask is you have to always be true to yourself. You have to ask the things that are going to be uncomfortable. If there's something that you want to enjoy that somebody's going to judge you for, uh, you know, is that the way you want to live? Is that really the way that you want to live? So I think that understanding that ask. The worst that can happen is that they say no. There's going to be a whole lot of feeling, I'm sure, that comes along with that. And if they're asking in a way where it's like, I don't really just want like a dick up my ass. I'm also asking because I do know that there is my prostate there. And I know
Yeah.
that the orgasm is going to be fucking intense and insane. And I don't want to enjoy that with anybody else but you. It's making it about the feeling and making sure that your partner's feeling included in that feeling, as opposed to saying, hey, can you just stick this dildo up my fucking ass and let's just see how it feels?
Yeah, it's
You
quite
know,
different.
it could come off so differently when it's just like, hey, here's this dick, put it in my ass, and let's see if I come. As opposed to, this is a feeling that I've researched, this is a feeling that I would love to explore. This is something that, I've heard about, and I really want to share this experience with you because I love you. I do everything with you, and just letting your partner feel like this is more about the two of you versus
Mm.
your single need.
How does it feel as a woman pegging a man? Because it's a very different situation. The dynamic's completely shifted. How does it?
You're probably asking the wrong chick on that one, like, because for me, it's so exhilarating. Like for me, it's like I get to be in this position where you are at my mercy, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Where I have you in a place that is just, I get to make you feel any way I want to feel right now. I get to make you squirm if I want to make you squirm. I get to make you be in pain if I want to make you be in pain. And a little part of me might be remembering like that one time that he didn't do the dishes and I wanted him to do the fucking dishes. Might be remembering that while I'm doing it, but that's what makes it so much fun. Um, and I do think that a lot of women really don't understand that it can be such a fucking great experience. It doesn't have to be like, oh, well, my boyfriend or my husband is gay because he wants me to peg him. It is absolutely not that.
yeah.
It's not that. And that breaks my heart when that's where women go with that. But it's like, I feel like if women could actually for once just put it in their mind that I want to do this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to be empowered by doing it, because as a woman, we're always the receiver.
Yeah.
We are the ones where it's like, here's the guy, here's the girl. The guy gets to put his dick wherever he wants to just put it, right? And we always just have to receive it. Okay. And a part of why I love pegging is because you can switch that dynamic. where now I'm the one putting this toy wherever the fuck I want to fucking put it. And now you have to sit there and receive it. And it's just such a different feeling versus a guy who can just put his dick wherever the fuck he wants. He could just put it and put it and put it. But a woman, we have to receive it. We have to feel it. And we're the ones where we're left with the cum inside of us. We're left with the energy that is still there after you've pulled out, right? We're left with everything that you've just put inside of us. And I love receiving. Don't get me wrong, I love receiving. But there's something so beautiful about being able to peg a guy and making him be the receiver as I'm just putting wherever I want to put this fucking toy and he has to receive it.
I like that. Because I mean, anal sex is talked about much more often these days. It's almost become not commonplace. I'm sure lots of couples still don't do that. But I think that almost, the expectation that if a man expects the woman's take it, sometimes you think a woman should turn around and say, well, you take it first.
I agree.
See how you like it.
I totally
And
agree.
they both might love it. It's a very different feeling. Again, the nerve endings in our anus are very different than our vagina or whatever. It's a very different feeling, and I think a lot of people describe it as being a very pleasant sensation in terms of being very full. And I think that's again a very different because the vagina, obviously, babies come out of there. It expands and contracts, and you can get cacti in there, or whatever else. But whereas the anus is a very different proposition, really. You're comfortable with both.
I fucking love anal. There's times where if I can't come from vaginal sex, I'm just like, put it in my ass, and I come like that. I love it.
And your self-professed blowjobs are world famous. You're comfortable that they're the best?
That's what I hear. I've given a few, so that's just what I hear.
When you said at the beginning that the content you create is with you and your partner, when do you sort of broach the subject? Do you tend to find partners already know who you are, or your partner already is aware of what you do, and then it's part of what they are? But are all men that you've been with comfortable with that?
No.
With being on? No, okay.
No, sadly, no. Which creates an issue, right? Because
you don't want to go with somebody else
I don't want to go with somebody else.
But, yeah.
But also, how can I stay in this relationship with this person that I adore and love and have come to just really, enjoy my time with? How can I stay here if I can't create here? But I also understand their part of it, you know? It's happened once to the point where it really hindered my business and what I was doing and my creation and all the things. And so now I'm very cognizant of it, and now I'm just like, I don't know. Like if somebody doesn't right off the bat say, yes, I'm willing to create with you, then I'm just not sure it's something I want to continue if I don't have that answer.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks. And it's not like their face has to be in it. Like I can just do it from like the waist down,
No,
Or leave your face out of it,
Yeah.
But I'm just also not comfortable going and being like, hey, let me just put this dick over here in the camera and this dick over here. Like I'm just not comfortable with that.
Yeah. Well, like you said at the beginning, because there's another distinction between different versions of you. The version of you is the version of you. So, and if you're looking at us being in a relationship with you, then you're in a relationship with you as a whole person,
whole person,
not parts of you. And that's I can completely understand why. Somebody's got to. They're either in it or
they've got to
not
put out or get out.
Absolutely, or put in. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Do you have intimate feelings towards women, or are you completely?
I am bisexual. I can't necessarily say that I love to be with women in that way where I'm emotionally connected to them. However, I do love on every fucking level watching my man fuck other women. It is just the hottest thing to watch my man fuck other women.
You have no jealousy whatsoever?
Zero. It's such a turn on.
Has it always been the way?
Always. In some weird way, it's actually always been that way. When I was younger, I had that same feeling, but I was also jealous when I was younger, like 15,
Mhm.
16, 17, 18, you know. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're very young at that
I
stage,
was
aren't
still
you?
exploring those emotions, and still trying to figure out who I was at that
Mm.
time. But when I was 21 and I was dating had my first, serious boyfriend outside of the teenage years, I loved the fact that I, had other women for him. And I wasn't jealous at that time. So you could tell how much I had changed and how much I just really enjoyed it. And so even now, like there's no jealousy about it. He can fuck another woman all day long. He cannot kiss another woman because that is for me. Your lips remain mine. The intimate parts remain mine. Um, but I'm absolutely all for him, getting his dick sucked or fucking another chick and then me just cleaning up the mess afterwards.
Oh, you're just like the perfect girlfriend, aren't you?
Yeah, I like to have fun, that's for sure. I feel like life's too short.
It is. So what does love mean to you in a relationship?
Oh, love means a lot to me. Love is everything to me. That's actually a really great question. Love for me is, it's important for me to feel adored and admired and looked at in a way where there's nobody else in the world in the room, even if there's a million other people in the room. So love for me, that's how I love to be loved. Um, and that's how I love back. I love to make the person that I'm with like the center of my world. Like I love to make them feel so special and give to them in so many ways. Um, and so for me, if love is that for me, that's what I want, it's less about like monogamy. It's less about like um it's less about loyalty. It's less about all of the things that I think other people equate love to. Love is a feeling. Love is a feeling, and love is something that you do every single day. And as long as somebody shows me that love and gives me that love, then the amount of things that you can do in a relationship with me are pretty endless.
I think it's a very it's probably the best way I've ever described it, I think. And I think I totally hear what you're saying, is that I think love is an emotion of feeling, and very much it starts in our head, and yes, it moves through our bodies somatically. But I do think there is something in that whole, yeah, being able to feel you can truly give yourself to somebody, feel they truly give themselves to you, but presumably trust and truth remain very important to you. You don't mind if your guy goes and fucks 10 other women, as long as he tells you.
Yes. So the communication part of it has to be there, right? Where it's like,
Yeah.
I really, really, really value transparency because
Mhm.
I'm very transparent. So I really value it. Um, so, uh, but there's also some levels to that. There's also a lot of levels to that because a part of me really likes, like, if my man were to try to sneak next door and fuck the neighbor, like I think it's really hot if you were to try to sneak next door and fuck the neighbor and not tell me till afterwards. So there's just some times where it can be a gray area, a very gray area. But the trust has to be there. The communication has to be there. Um, I think it's no different than any other part, right? Like as soon as you break the trust, whether it's with your parents, whether it's with your kids or whatever, your boss, when you break that trust, it's so much harder to get back to that point.
Yeah, I have a real thing with it. So I will I've always been a sort of person that gives everything very, very quickly in a relationship, in a friendship, and I sort of, people always say you should hold something back, you shouldn't sort of dive in straight away, and it's not like a soppy diving in. It's just, if I'm in a friendship, it's I'm really there. I'm there for that person, and with a lover, I'm there for that lover, whatever. But then if something happens and they break that trust or don't respond in a way that they have before, I find it really hard to get that back.
I agree.
Really, really hard because if you're the sort of person that I feel it's similar similar in this, if not in other ways, but I think if you're the sort of person that gives yourself and then somebody doesn't treat that in a way you both agreed that that should be treated, that's very hard to come back from, I think.
Well, you sound a lot like me where you're just such a giver, right? And you
Yeah.
sound like me where you're like an overgiver.
Mm.
Um, but for me, it's like I wouldn't want to live life any other way. And one thing I have realized, this has been like a recent realization, but it's also been one that's kind of been the easiest. Like it makes me breathe when I do it. When I get involved with somebody, when I'm starting to date somebody or whatever, it's like, okay, I'm giving you my heart. Here is my heart because I'm so giving, and I'm giving you permission to break it because ultimately you are. Whether they break it or not, who knows? They're gonna break it eventually, and this is what I think the easier part is for me in accepting it. They're gonna break it eventually. Whether they leave you, whether they cheat on you, whether they die, they're gonna break your heart anyhow. And as long as you can go into something and say, okay, here's my heart. I'm giving it to you. I'm giving you all of me, and I'm giving you permission to break it. Then that feeling of like not being able to trust them or thinking you're going to get heartbroken, whatever the case may be, it becomes like a breath of fresh air. It becomes just like a you feel so free after you're like, here's I'm giving you this permission to do this because you are.
Wow. Let's say I'm sort of talking to a incredibly sort of hot, sexy, amazing woman, and we're getting very deep psychologically. So I'm sure people listening, be like, just talk about a pussy again. Okay, we'll get back to that. But I just, it's yeah, it's yeah. No, that is a really that's an incredibly mature and thoughtful way of looking at love, really.
Yeah.
I do feel and hear what you're saying. As long as you're the person who understands what you're saying to them, that you're not giving them permission to treat you like shit. That's not what this is
Right.
about. It's about okay,
Right.
here are the boundaries. Like, I don't mind if you sneak next door and fuck Alice and then come back and I smell her pussy on you. I'm okay with that. That's okay. As
Yes.
long as you didn't, as long as you didn't kiss her, that's okay. As long as we've got that sort of range in there. As long as you're not going to move in over there and boot me to the sideboard.
Yeah.
That's the thing, really. So do you? I hope the answer to this is yes, and I think it is. Do you truly believe that you deserve unrestrained and complete love from somebody else?
Absolutely, I do.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely, I do. I wouldn't settle for anything less, actually. I did once, and I won't do it again. Let me put it that way. I've learned my lesson.
What do you think people most often misunderstand about women in particular, I guess, who are in the industry that you're in, who live and work, and are as open as you do? What do you think they misunderstand about your way of living?
For one, that we're human. We have
Okay.
feelings. Okay, let's
Yeah.
make that very fucking clear. We're human and we have feelings. And number two, I think that this doesn't apply to me because I do it because I love it, right?
Mhm.
I don't do any of this work because I have to. I do it because I want to and I really enjoy it. But I wish other people would understand that sometimes you come to a crossroads and sometimes you have to realize I got to do something for my life. I want to do more. I want to make more. I want to be better. I want to take care of my kids more. I want to provide more. And
Yeah.
sometimes you just fucking have to make decisions that you don't necessarily want to fucking make.
Mhm.
Um, and it's so easy for people to judge that until they're in somebody else's shoes of having to make that fucking decision. So I wish that like more people would realize that some of these women don't want to do this because they just don't, but they
Yeah.
have to because It's easy. The money's there. The schedule is on their own. It's just it's something that you can do on your own time, and it doesn't interfere with being a mom. It doesn't interfere with this or that. And so, I wish more people would realize that.
Mm. I think that's the key part, isn't it? That the person you're looking at, thinking about, talking about is human, has the same feelings, has the same, cries over the same things, loves the same things, just does a different job, really.
Literally. Literally. I mean, because like when you sell timeshare, like you're selling your soul. Like if you were to sell timeshare, you're selling your soul. If you work for the government, you're selling your
Yeah,
soul. So,
yeah.
you know, I'm just, sucking the soul out of somebody else and getting paid for it. So what the fuck's the difference?
Literally, yes.
Yeah, there's no difference.
Mm. So how do you look after your and sort of nourish your mental well-being then? Because physically, you said and you can tell you're very passionate about the gym. You eat very healthily, you live a healthy life, and that side of things. But what do you do from a sort of mental nourishment perspective? How do you keep ensuring you're the person you want to be?
Oh, so that is actually a big part of why I'll escape the country and go to like other countries.
Yeah.
Because really being able to get out of America
Hmm.
and go to other places and reset my whole mind, and just sit with myself and sit with what I do and sit with my emotions and sit with like, my growth and where I've come and appreciating where I've come from to where I'm at.
Yeah.
For me, that is the biggest part of like my mental health. And if I don't have that, if I don't have those times to escape, to really reflect on my life, then it becomes a problem. It becomes a lot in my head that I can't just release.
And I think a lot of, I mean, I've talked to a lot, I said before, I talked to a lot of wonderful people, particularly in the US, and yeah, lots of situations are quite challenging right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that are happening that people that I've talked to don't agree with, and it's sometimes you've almost got to say that that's not me. That I'm something very different. And no matter what somebody's job is, like I said, they could be an accountant, could be a lawyer, could be a stripper, could be a sex worker, whatever. All need time to step away, reflect, and think about. Well, no, actually, I am. Fuck this. I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Yes.
I'm bringing the money. I'm raising the kids. I'm doing the right things. I'm feeling the right things. You're doing it. And sometimes, yeah, we don't often step back and think about what we've done. We
Nope.
just keep thinking about what I need to do. I need to do this. Need to do this. No, just stop for a minute.
Yes.
Think about what's happened in the last day, week, month, year. It's like,
No,
wow. If you think about what you've done in the last year, you personally, it's like, wow. It's
it's a
extraordinary.
lot in like
It
the
is.
best
It is.
way.
And you want to take those few moments just to celebrate the feelings that that's given you and other people. And yeah, and again, no matter what the job is, you want to be able to sort of celebrate the small victories sometimes.
Yeah. One day at a time, baby. One day at a time.
Absolutely. And you've been very kind with your time and as open as I had hoped for. But so my final question. Now I don't know whether this is a fair question really. So please don't take it in any way as being offensive. But
Not at all.
you know what I'm going to say.
I don't even
But
know.
I'm really going to try now. I guess it's almost two parts. I guess. First of all, do you have a do you have a vision for what the future holds for you? What the next decade looks like? And then the second part of it, and I feel inappropriate asking this in a way. Almost, do you have an exit strategy from doing what you're doing? But then you are what you do. So an exit strategy from that is almost an exit strategy from being who you are. But do you have a view what the next 5 to 10 years holds?
Yeah, so I just moved to Miami. This is a whole part of
Yep.
like my goal was to move here and to build my empire of spray tans and massage and then the sex and relationship coaching, which
Hmm.
is going to eventually turn into a podcast. And so that is my biggest goal is to be able to reach the world by doing what you and I are doing right here. By being
Yeah.
able to offer people, solutions, being able to talk them through the shit, being able to let them live their messy, crazy fucking life and discuss it with me, and then them be able to just embrace it. So that is my whole goal for building my empire is to do all of these little things first so that I can become such a well-rounded person so that when I have this podcast and when I'm helping the world or healing these people that it's in a way where it's from so much fucking experience. So that's where I would love to be in 5 to 10 years and just completely take this the sex and relationship world by storm.
And there's got to be a book in there.
You know, it's so funny you said
People are
that.
gonna wanna read your life for sure.
I think so too, because there's so much. There's so much. But I think at one point that might be an option as well.
Yeah, I think you can sort of see there's different strands of it all coming together. The book, and then the workshops, and the coaching, and then the guidance, and then the miniseries, and the film, and then Hollywood domination, and then
Yeah.
president. Who knows?
Yeah. I'm excited for it all though. Like everything that I do, I'm like, holy shit, I can't believe I said I was gonna do that and I've done it. And that's been my whole life
Yeah,
is I'm gonna do
yeah,
this. And I do it and I'm like, I can't believe I did that.
yeah. And it's like you said in answer to the last question. It's almost just taking those moments to reflect on what you've done, and just making sure you keep notice of what you've done, so you don't forget.
Yeah.
And a lot of what you've done is on film, I guess, but a lot of the things you've done, experienced, felt, the emotions you've had, the feelings you've had, the sensations you've had, they're all things that, people would revel in, I think, and recognize actually, no, there is a way to be energetic through our lives, because our lives are pretty short, really, in the cosmos. And you think, well, shit, why not make the most of it? And yet you're a perfect example of literally owning every second of it. And I think it's commendable.
Yeah, you have to. You have to own who you are. The wild, the crazy, the messy, the vulnerable, all the things, like you have to fucking own it. Because that's truly you.
Thank you so much for your time. You are an absolute what's the right word? I'd say you're a riot of energy.
I
think is how I'd
appreciate
describe
that.
you.
I really enjoyed this. So thank you for
Oh.
having me.
No, I'm looking forward to seeing your podcast now, seeing how it should be done. You get on with it. Come on.
I'll have you on. It'll be great.
And if you ever find yourself in London, please let me know. I'd love to
I
catch you in person.
absolutely will.
Fabulous. All right, you take care and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.